Hello, people. Welcome to this beautiful day. Wow. Uh, we are in the middle of it. That we are on the threshold of Midsummer Night's Dream. And won't you come along and form a fairy ring around the golden eternity of this hour that is an electronic bonfire that we all sit around together and share the joy of one another's company. So today is the 28th of June. A beautiful day, and some folks are hither, thither, and yon out traveling. Some are here doing hard, good work. So we thank the staff here and good brother Keaton and all the people here at Channel 18 for doing the good heart song work that makes this a beautiful thing. So heart song to everybody, Channel 18, with our big gratitude and a water planet blessing we can splash in and have a good time. And this is halfway between the fortnight of, it's the 20th of June through the 4th of July, which is the Midsummer Night's Dream and beyond. And so we're in a cosmic transport, dear friends, and may this transport in your heart to your loved ones, your kindred, your kith and kin, especially to the least of these, those who need some care and some love, some TLC, those in prison, those behind the walls, those in forced enclosures, the elder loved ones in nursing homes, folks in the hospitals, poor people, those who are starving, the homeless, those, again, who are in prison or any part of the correctional system, even praying for the correctional officers, the police, the caretakers, the social workers. We're all in this together, so a lot of love going around the whole circle. So we lighten it up and send some loving care and the milk of human kindness in these exchanges. So take the rage out of our heart and put some sweet medicine in there for this loving care. That's what we're doing here. On that threshold of a Midsummer Night's Dream, we'll have some notes and some announcements, and that'll be halfway through this roundabout, this circle that we're in. And right now we'll just have a note from the Midsummer Night's Dream, and that is something that was shared last week but was requested to be shared again. This is called The Prayer of the Righteous is Powerful and Effective. It sounds like kind of like a Latinate, boring title, but bear with us here. There's great fruit ahead. There comes the time when the sun is longest in its day. This is that time, dear friend. This is the time of slowing down slow. The summer solstice is stis, the part of that soul means sun, and stis means still. Solstice, the sun stands still for 4 days. That's the 4 directions and the 4 days, north, east, south, and west. The sun stands still for 4 days. That's what's called the summer solstice, at the highest part of the year when it's the longest day of the year. These days we celebrate. These are the high holy days, dear friend. Up on yonder meadow, up on the highlands, the people of the heath, the healers, the dancers, the wisdom keepers, the keepers of the flame, the carriers of the dream wheel, all are dancing the planet drum these high holy days. And there comes the time when the sun is longest in its day. It is that time, dear friend. This is the time of slowing down slow. The stices show up like solstices. The stices slow up like solstices. The sun stands still, slows up. Everything comes to a standstill. Where 7 by 7 the soul stays on a helios steed in his heaven for nearly 4 fortnights. a quaternity of a quatrain of the turning of the great seasonal wheel. With both hands on the wheel, we seize the fire and stir the stars as we set the controls for the heart of the sun. We can only get there by slowing down slow, bending, reaching low, and we set the controls for the heart of Kutsan Suum, the heart of the Milky Way galaxy. And we set the controls for the heart of Alcyone, the heart of the universe. As we slow down slow and seize the fire and steer the stars, bending and reaching low, so we can develop a loving care for the least of these. Bending low, truly loving care, our hands on, down in the mix, digging in the dirt with our fellow sisters and brother and fellow kindred, kith and kin. We seek the meek with our heart. We seek the meek with our heart, a truly sacred art of bowing down low, slowing down slow, bowing down low to reach out and pull on up those below. This is spiritual empathy bridge work, dear friend. This is spiritual empathy bridge work, dear friend. The real work of reaching out with loving kindness to those already mentioned in the different homes, the halfway houses, the shelter homes, houses for the homeless, the prisons, the jails, that military industrial prison complex, those incarcerated in the military, they too are incarcerated. So we slow down slow. The real work of reaching out is loving kindness. And you only know if you've been there in one of those gulags, one of those prisons, say like incarcerated in the military, being in jail, being in the prison industrial complex, being poor, being homeless, looking for shelter. Just give me some shelter. But more than that, give me some truth. The real work of reaching out with loving kindness. Let us now pray with the left hand of God. Let us now pray with the left hand of God. For today, the sacred scroll says, the prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. Let's hear that with a whisper. The prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. The prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. The prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. More effective than the whirlwinds leveling everything with hurricane force. More effective than the whirlwinds leveling everything with hurricane force. For here in the eye, everything is calm. Here we become still, very still, and know that the Creator is divine. The prayer of the righteous opens wide the river. And this prayer is powerful and effective, more effective than the whirlwinds widening gyre, leveling everything with hurricane force. For here in the eye, everything is calm. Here we become still and know that that creation is divine. The prayer of the righteous opens wide the river, dear friend, with swift running currents of level 5 whitewater, foam, and power. Yet in still waters running deep, bringing us right along in redemption song. This is prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. For those who are religious, who are not religious, those who are spiritual, everyone is spiritual. It's beyond orthodoxy and beyond dogma, and beyond thou shalts and beyond thou shalt nots. The only commandment is thou shalt not be ashamed. Thou shalt not be ashamed, and remember to breathe. Breathing is the first and only real commandment, breathing. The prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. There comes a time when the sun is longest in its day. This is that time, dear friend. This is the time of slowing down slow. The stissies show up, the stissies slow up. Where 7 by 7, Saul stays on his Helios steed in his heaven for nearly 4 fortnights, 49 days, a quaternity of a quatrain of the turning of the great seasonal wheel. With both hands on the wheel, we seize the fire and steer the stars as we set the controls for the heart of the sun. We can only get there. We can only get there by slowing down slow. Bending, reaching low, dear friend. So we can develop a loving care for the least of these. For the least of these. For the least of these. Truly loving care, hands-on, down in the mix, digging in the dirt with our fellow sisters and brother, doing the doing gets done. And we do this doing and work for our fellow kin, our kindred folk, kith and kin. We seek the meek with our heart. We seek the meek with our heart. We seek the meek with our heart. A truly sacred art of bowing down low. Swing low, sweet chariot, as we bow down low to reach out and pull on up those below. This is spiritual empathy bridge work. This is empathy bridge work. We're forming an empathy bridge as we seek the meek with our heart. We form an empathy bridge, a bridge across forever. And this is the real work, a truly sacred art of bowing down low, the real work of reaching out with loving kindness, the real work of reaching out, each one reach one, the real work of reaching out with loving kindness in the cup of our hands for the golden eternity of this hour. Let us now pray with the left hand of God. Let us now pray with the left hand of God. For today the sacred scroll says, the prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. More effective than the whirlwinds leveling everything with hurricane force. For here in the eye, everything is calm. Here we become still and know that creation is divine. The prayer of the righteous opens wide the river, dear friend. The prayer of the righteous opens wide the river with swift running currents of level 5 whitewater power and foam. Run in the rapids, dear friend, with joyful glee, and yet in still waters running deep, bringing us right along, right here in redemption song. Redemption song, the prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective in everything we do and say. We become still and know that creation is divine. That is the sacred art of bowing down low and reaching on out and pulling on up those below. Those below in the hold as we cross the ocean to terra incognita. That's terra incognita. This is a piece that was requested to be shared. On this day when the soul, the symbol for the sun is Helios in his steed, but also it's the lion, Leo. So we're moving into Leo here pretty soon, if we're not already another month from now. But we're beginning to move into the lion. And the lion is a very powerful symbol for the sun. If you look at the lion with its orange mane and its flaming mane all around it, it looks like the face of the sun with the flames of the sun all around the solar disk. That's a beautiful face. The lion, while hunting, doesn't roar. What's in our heart? That's the age of this. Not the age before or the age after. It's this, the age of now. Let's celebrate this, dear friend. It is no less noblesse oblige. It's the age of Coeur, the age of the heart. Not man apart. It's the Coeur age, the heart age, in the heart of darkness. Coeur age. Ah, courage. Courage, dear friend. The strength to mount up on Helios' steed and soar with Coeur above Mount Olympus. On our going to the sun trail, all hail, ye on Helios' steed, something greater than ourselves. Something greater, much greater than ourselves. Yet, it is in the silence that we exist for this deed. It is in our crouch. It is in our haunch, in our angle of repose. Here we are, stalking out in the wild, not even cracking twigs, up long meandering mountain trail. We stop at waterfalls for a cool, refreshing sip and a dip. We are in total immersion, as we stop for a sip and a dip at the cool waterfalls. We are in total immersion, total synaptic involution, in serendip. No one, not even ruby-throated hummingbird, gets a whiff of this. No one, not even ruby-throated hummingbird gets a whiff of this. We are tracking in silence, checking the signs. We are tracking in silence. We are tracking in silence. We are tracking in silence, checking the signs, telltale signs. This is part of the divine design of nature. This ain't easy, and yet essential. We are slipping in on the pause of silence. We are slipping in on the pause of silence. We are creeping in and slipping in on the pause of silence. The silica makes no imprint of our presence. The silica makes no imprint of our presence. We are poised in equipoise, without any noise. We are slipping in on the pause of silence. The silica makes no imprint of our presence here. We are poised in equipoise, without any noise. For you see, dear friend, the lion while hunting doesn't roar. Aho. So this is shape-shifting into the archetypal totem of this summer solstice, the lion. The lion while hunting doesn't roar. What's in our heart? That's the age of this, not the age before or the age after. It's this, the age of now. Let's celebrate this, dear friend. Let's celebrate this and letting go. We are letting go now. We are letting the world take care of itself. We're leaving the ordinary time now. We're climbing up the beanstalk. We're entering liminal time. We're climbing into great time, great story, great work. We're climbing into once upon a dream, once upon a time, once upon the threshold of a dream, once upon the threshold of a midsummer night's dream, where fairies and folk and gnomes and elves and little ones all abound around here, and the fireflies disguised as fairy flight. It's this, the age of now. Let's celebrate this, dear friend. It is no less noblesse oblige. It's the age of queer, the age of the heart. Not man apart. It's the queer age, the heart age, the age of the heart, in the heart of darkness. Queer age, courage, the strength to mount up on the Helios steed, the strength to mount up on Helios steed, and soar with queer, soar with the heart above Mount Olympus. On our going to the sun trail, all hail as we go to the rainbow tribe with our rainbow covenant in the laurels of our troth. Something greater than ourselves here, yet it is in the silence. It is in the silence, dear friend, that we exist for this deed. It is in our crouch. So now we're now in our silence. We exist for this deed. It is in our crouch. So now we're beginning to crouch. It is in our haunch. So now we're beginning to crouch down low on our haunches. It is in our angle of repose. So now we're crouching down low in our haunches and seeing with our angle of repose, developing the art of seeing, the art of seeing. Here we are, stalking, 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 out here in the wild, stalking, 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 out here in the wild. Not even cracking twigs, not even crackling twigs, not even cracking twigs, stalking, stalking, stalking. Up long meandering mountain trail, up long meandering mountain trail, thousands and thousands and thousands of feet we trek. We stop at the waterfalls. We stop at the waterfalls. We stop at the waterfalls for a cool, refreshing sip. For a cool, refreshing sip and a dip. We stop at the waterfalls for a cool, refreshing sip and a dip. We are in total immersion, total synaptic involution, in serendip. We're in total immersion, total synaptic involution, sharpening our axons, in serendip. No one, not even the ruby-throated hummingbird, gets even a whiff of this. No one, not even the ruby-throated hummingbird, gets a whiff of this. We are trekking in silence. We are tracking in silence. We are tracking in silence. We are tracking in silence. Checking the signs. Is there fur overhanging off of that pine tree here? Does that hemlock have any bear marks on the bark? Is there some kind of feather over here on this redwood cedar? Does this Douglas fir have anything? What about the alder? The alder knows. The alder knows. We are tracking in silence, checking the signs, telltale signs, little tracks in the moist clay along the riverbank. Are there little tracks there? Where are they leading? We are checking for signs, telltale signs. This tracking, this is all part of the divine design. It's all part of the divine design in nature. This ain't easy and yet essential. We are of fangs and claws. We are fangs and claws. This ain't easy and yet essential. We are slipping in on the pause of silence. We are slipping in on the pause of silence. The silica makes no imprint of our presence. The silica makes no imprint of our presence. Listen to the silence in the stars. The silica, the sand beneath our feet, beneath our toes, makes no imprint of our presence. The silica makes no imprint of our presence. We are poised in equipoise, crouching down low, trekking in silence, on our haunches, coiled in repose, coiled in equipoise. We are poised in equipoise without any noise. We are coiled, we are poised in equipoise without any noise. For you see, dear friend, the lion, while hunting, does not roar. The lion, while hunting, doesn't roar. Aho. Dedicated to the Saul and the archetype of of Leo, of the solar imprint of the divine signature of the solstice. That is the lion. And of course, if anything, one thing we know, the lion is not cowardly. The lion has courage, the strength of the heart. Quer is heart. Strength and courage all begins with the heart. Strength of the heart is the lion. Heart-centered and strong. Courage. The lion, while hunting, does not roar. That's a little piece for the summer solstice as we're traveling through into the heart of the sun as we set the controls after having stolen the fire. This is the composition written today. Here is the summer solstice composition also written today. The artist, a way of being in the world. The artist is a way of being in the world. It is a practice. The way of being, the Ancient of Days breathing, in Sage's hexagram of the I Ching being, that is the tetrahedral golden mean, the golden age, binary triplet configurations of the I Ching, the hexagrams of the I Ching, the way of being, Ancient of Days breathing, in Sage's hexagram of I Ching being. The way of being in the world is to put visionary blood and pores through semaphores into higher purpose. To carry it all forward in a cultural vehicle which will feed the seventh generation yet to come. This is the carrier of the dream wheel. Nothing unreal, everything very real. As restoration of dream time is handcrafted, dear friend. The restoration of dream time is handcrafted and hand-painted, dear friend. In this awakening, this ascending earth planet, laughter is the medicine for this emergent planet and this way of being in the world, as it is the way of being. Troubadours, drummers, dancers are needed for the essential air supply. Troubadours, dancers, drummers, painters, sculptors are needed for the essential air supply. Oxygen for the starving masses in this ascension. Oxygen for the starving masses in this ascension. Oregon for the starry night masses for the planet in this ascension, essential as we trek up into Malheur Wilderness Forest for the Rainbow Gathering up near John Day, up in Oregon near the Columbia River. And all of you out there on the Rainbow Gathering Trail, as you trek up the mountains, remember this bud's for you. And may you have a wonderful 4th of July meditation, circle meditation for planetary peace. And this oxygen is for the starving masses in this ascension. And the Oregon for the starry night mass on the planet for this ascension into the rainbow dreamer wheels that we each one are. As a wandering star on this planet Earth, remember, we are starborn. Remember, we are starborn. 1111 in the digital matrix. We are starborn in the Pleiades consciousness within the stardust of our being. The lineage holder is circumspect, not whom you'd expect, dear friend. The lineage holder is circumspect, not whom you'd expect, dear friend. In this upward circumlocution, not the bankster, the lawyer, the beggarman, the dockster, the thief. This is one who gets a lot of grief, this one, and a whole lot of no relief, this one. And this one is the one who is the most essential to provide air supply, oxygen for the starving masses in this planetary ascension. The lineage holder who is circumspect and not whom you'd expect. In this upward circumlocution, not the bankster, the lawyer, the beggarman, the doctor, the thief. This is one who gets a lot of grief and a whole lot more no relief, and who gets no relief. This is one who actually hears what you have to say. This is one who actually hears what you have to say. This is one who is authentic. This is one who is sovereign. This is one who is real deal, who actually hears what you have to say, who listens to what the wildwood flowers tell him, who listens. This is one who listens to what the wildwood flowers tell him. He shapes and molds this into clay and throws it on the wheel of spontaneity. He fires it in the cauldron of uncertainty. He fires it in the cauldron of uncertainty, stirs it all day for a fortnight around the sun, and stirs it all day, stirs it all day in the cauldron for a fortnight around the sun. He stirs it all day in the cauldron for a fortnight around the sun, till noon of the 4th of July of the rainbow gathering up at altitude. He stirs it all day for a fortnight round the sun, stirring, 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 spinning, spinning, dancing, dancing, spinning, spinning, stirring, 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 the 144,000 rainbow dreamer wheels alive, spinning, spinning, sparking, whirling, whirling, spinning, spinning, dancing, twirling, whirling, sparking, the dream alive. While the flames are still melting, while the flames are still melting, burning the dross of all past ages, burning the dross of all past ages. Burning the dross of all past ages. Burning the dross of all past rages. Burning the dross of all past rages. Amor y rabia, love and rage. Rabia y amor, rage and love. Amor y rabia, love and rage. You are another myself. Allah Khan, I am another yourself. In Lakesh. In Lakesh, you are another myself. Allah Khan, I am another yourself. Breathing it in. Breathing in love. Breathing in love. breathing in love. The heart is centered in the dove above, breathing in love. Breathing in love. Breathing out peace. Breathing out peace. Breathing out peace. Breathe in love. The heart center, the love from above. Breathing in love. Breathe out peace to all kith and kin around this planetary endorphin. Breathing in love. From the love from the dove from above. Breathing out peace for the one who lives within. The dolphin swim and the endorphin dream time. Breathing in love, breathing out peace. Breathing in peace, breathing out love. Breathing in love, breathing out peace. The ebb and flow of the eternal life return, the eternal return. While the flames are still melting, burning the dross off all past ages, burning the dross off all past rages. And birthing onto the scene. And birthing onto the scene, dear friend, a new way of being. A new way of being. The artist at practice in the world. The artist at practice in the world. The artist at practice in the world, dear friend. Aho, so mote it be. A way of being in the world. Artist. A way of being in the world of practice. The way of being. The Ancient of Days in the Gobi. The Ancient of Days breathing. In the sage's hexagram binary triplet configurations of the I Ching being, I am. The way of being in the world. To put visionary blood and pores through semaphores into higher purpose. On the high seas with the semaphores, putting the semaphores, the visionary blood and pores through semaphores of the divine sailor upon the seas, sailing on to Xanadu, a pleasurable, stately pleasure dome. Through the semaphores into higher purpose. The ancient mariner awake. The ancient mariner awakens when we put these visionary blood and pores through semaphores into higher purpose. The ancient mariner awakens to carry it all forward in a cultural vehicle, to carry it forward in a cultural vehicle which will feed the seventh generation yet to come, which will feed the seventh generation yet to come from the wisdom of the ancient wisdom elders, the tribal wisdom, the cultural wisdom, the cultural vehicle. And this will carry it all forward in that vehicle which will lead the seventh generation yet to come. This is the carrier of the dream wheel. This is carrier of the dream wheel. Carrier of the dream wheel. Nothing unreal. Nothing to get upset about. Nothing unreal. Everything very real. Nothing to get hung about. Nothing to get upset about. Everything very real. Very real. Very real. As restoration of dream time. Very real. Very real. Very real in the whimsical wheel. As restoration of dream time. Very real. And this restoration of dream time is handcrafted, hand-painted, hand-carved. In this awakening, this is hand, and this is hand over hand climbing up the rough side of the mountain. Hand over hand with no crampons. Hand over hand climbing up the rough side of the mountain. And everything very real as restoration of dream time is handcrafted in this awakening. The restoration of dream time is handcrafted in this awakening. This ascending earth planet, on this earth plane, this awakening on this ascending earth planet, laughter is the medicine for this emergent planet. Laughter is the medicine. Ha 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 ha. Laughter is the medicine for this emergent planet. Laughter, dear friend, beyond the rafters, raise the rafters, beyond the rafters, beyond the rafters. Laughter is the medicine which will get us into the hereafter. Laughter is the medicine that will get us into the hereafter as we be here now. As we be here now. Laughter is the medicine. As we be here now, it will get us into the hereafter as we be here now. And laughter is the medicine for this emergent planet. It is very holy and good and healing. It makes us good. As its way of being, this emergent planet's way of being is laughter. Troubadours and drummers and dancers are needed. Troubadours and dancers and drummers and twirlers and dancers and spinners and drummers and singers and sculptors and poets and artists and Irish tin whistlers are all needed for the essential air supply for this way of being of this ascendant planet. This air supply is oxygen for the starving masses in this ascension. And it's essential. These are needed. These are essential air supply. As we get up higher into altitude, this oxygen for the starving masses and the dances and the singing and the drumming for the starving masses in this ascension. The lineage holder is circumspect, dear friend. Truly a lineage holder. One who goes back to the eons and the eons and the eons, and dispensation before this era, and dispensation before 3 eras before this era, and the dispensation for this era, the new dispensation. The new dispensation, the lineage holder in the cup, the golden cup of Sangreal in this eternity of this hour. The lineage holder is circumspect, not whom you'd expect, dear friend. The lineage holder is circumspect. In Sangreal, in this cup of loving kindness, is circumspect, not whom you'd expect. In this upward circumlocution, not the bankster, not the lawyer, not the beggarman, not the dockster, the thief, not any of these. This is one who gets a lot of grief. This is one who gets a lot of grief, dear friend, and a whole lot of no relief. This is one who gets a lot of grief and a whole lot of no relief. Up on Yggdrasil, holding up the cross of the world, up on Yggdrasil, carrying the weight of the world. This is one who gets a lot of grief and a whole lot of no relief. This is one, dear friend, who actually hears what you have to say. This is one who actually hears what you have to say. This is one who actually hears what you have to say. This is the lineage holder. This is one who listens to what the wild flowers tell him in the meadow. This is one who actually listens to what the wild flowers tell him in the meadow, the alpine meadow, on the going to the sun trail. This is one who listens to what the wild flowers tell him. He shapes and molds and what he listens to into clay. He shapes, shifts, and molds what he listens and hears, what he listens to and hears, and he molds it into clay and throws it on the wheel of spontaneity. He throws it on the wheel of spontaneity, the wheel of the great mandala. And he throws it on the wheel of spontaneity. He fires it in the cauldron of uncertainty. He fires it in the cauldron of uncertainty. At midnight, in the land of the midnight sun, fire and ice, and fires it in the cauldron of uncertainty, and stirs it all day. Stirs it all day, stirs it all day, for a fortnight round the sun of the new land. Stirs it all day, for a fortnight round the sun in the new land. Stirring, 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 spinning, spinning, stirring, stirring, spinning, 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 sparkling, whirling, dancing, twirling, spinning, 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 alive, while the flames are still melting. While the flames are still melting, you can see the fire, the flames running out of his fingers as Dybbuk, with flames running out of his fingers as Dybbuk. Dybbuk, the cauldron stirrer, burning the dross off all past ages, dear friend. The Kali Yuga, the iron age of the iron rage of the iron cage of man, and all the other yugas, and all the tunes and cartoons of both the Hindu greater vehicle and the Mahayana great vehicle and the Mayan great calendar of time, all the cartoons and the tunes and the cartoons and the great Mayan calendar, burning the dross of all those past ages, burning the dross of all those past ages, Mayan, Hindu, Tibetan, Buddhist, all those past ages, Egyptian, in the Book of the Dead, and the Book of the Diamond Jeweled Ornament of Liberation, burning the dross of all the past ages of Sankapa, Nagarjuna, Ramakrishna, Sankapa, and Ashoka, and Genghis Khan, burning the dross off all the past ages and all the past rages, burning it all off, burning the dross off, and birthing onto the scene a new way of being, dear friend, a new hexagram of the binary triplet configuration of the I Ching, and birthing onto the scene, dear friend, a new way of being. Ah, the artists of praxis. Ah, the artists at practice in the world. The artists at practice in the world. Aho. This is a way of being. It's the first of the Zulkan 713 of the summer solstice. A new composition. So that is the beginning of the three ragas, burning the dross off all the ages, burning the dross off all the rages. In that sense, we have what is called a new world. A new world. Some say a celestial dipper tilted to spill out star people who drifted through space like cosmic dandelions, seeding planets with consciousness. Some say sisterly Pleiades danced down to earth in spinning pirouettes, trailing and blazing streamers of stardust to Mother Humanity. I find Gaia, Mother Gaia, miracle enough. Like any other earthly mother, she generates life from resources close to hand, fanning the first spark, weaving 98 elemental threads into myriad elegant patterns. Every design complex and beautiful as the last, dovetailing one intricate prototype into another, plating each creation into the unified living being, the whole we call home. The word home contains Om, primal sound of making origin of first vibration, and the antimatter that is no thing. Tiniest fractal holds the entire its mother's information. Perhaps all matter contains within itself a blueprint, a green print of the universe. If this be so, then surely Newtonian and quantum facts embedded in our matrix manifest in individual dreams and culture myths and motifs as art and allegory, driving humankind heavenward to search among the stars for the beginning place. The word for goddess, God, and spirit in many tongues is also the very word for home. That is world enough to say a celestial dipper tilted and to spill out star people who filled the universe like cosmic dandelions. And as a cosmic dandelion, may you float on the cosmic wind and drift far into your solarized, divinized light of your divinized being. And may that be enough for your journey into the heart of the sun. May peace be with you all. Peace.